Hi everyone, it's Angelica here. How's it going? It is freezing in Brisbane today. I'm outside trying to warm myself up and getting some vitamin D. Today I thought I will talk a little bit about how to heal our inner self, which is something I'm super passionate about because, I always tell my clients, if you drink green juices all day, but inside you are angry or you are sad or depressed or anxious, you can't heal yourself. You can't feel free. You can't start doing whatever you want to do because there is an imbalance here. Or, if you feel super content on the inside and you're eating fast food and drinking soft drinks all day long, that is also an imbalance because you are not nourishing your body with the right fuel. So it needs to be a balance. And for me, when I started my healing journey, I realized that I really needed to focus on everything. Not only because what I had, cancer, was such a, it's a complex disease, but because I really felt in my body that there was not only an issue with the matter, like the food that I was putting inside, but the issue with the trapped emotions, the issues that I had inside me that had created this disease. But regardless to, when you look at diseases or sickness, when you think like that, I feel it's really important for us to seek that healing inside ourselves, because once we feel like we have gone through the stuff that we need to go through, it's much easier to start creating whatever we want to create. The body we want to create, the business, the family, the future, whatever you want to do. But all the time that we have these unresolved issues inside us, it really stops us from being the best version of ourselves, and from changing our life, from changing things that we don't want, to be and do in our lives. So the first thing, I believe that you need to do is to stop telling yourself that, you don't have an issue, right? So let's face it, we all go through things in life, and I think there is a lot more talks about, they call it trauma, that it doesn't have to be something that, we categorize as really bad. It could be anything, things that, if you have any siblings, you can have a look and think, I was raised the same way as my brother, and we came out as two completely different people, because the way that things affect me is completely different than the way that things affected him. And and I can't be saying that whatever it happened, how I was affected it is the only right way, because each person has the right to feel and be whoever they want to feel and be. Because we, sometimes, when something happens to us, we need to acknowledge that, even though it was something that potentially was small for somebody else, it was big for us. And we need to work through that so we can really heal whatever it is, kind of the energy that stayed within us. So, really stop telling yourself that whatever you went through, it's nothing, or it's okay, I just need to get on with it. I'm 41 years old, and I come from that generation where, or at least, in Brazil, it's like there was not much time to talk about feelings, emotions. There was only time to get on with life. There was only time to shut up and get on with it. But, the world, that, it's not like that anymore. Like there is a lot more opening for us to be talking about our emotions and feelings. And if you are not talking about your emotions and feelings and how things have affected you, that is an issue in itself. So I think it's really important, like this, yesterday I posted something and I talk about this intimate relationship that I built within myself, during my cancer treatment. And I only did that because I was prepared to stop telling myself that I was okay. I was prepared to stop telling myself that nothing had affected me in my life. I was prepared to go to some dark places that for me they were dark, perhaps for somebody else wasn't, but for me was, and I needed to deal with that, right? Another thing that, I always talk to my clients about is like you have to hold space for yourself to really feel your emotions and feelings. And that could be as simple, like, let's not talk about anything complicated. I could be sitting here drinking a cup of tea or coffee and just thinking about, I don't know, my day yesterday and how things have affected me, why I feel the way I feel, my emotions and what's been going on in my life. Am I feeling okay about it? Am I stressed about it? Just sit with our feelings and our emotions. We live in a very fast-paced life, and we don't give ourselves the opportunity to check in with ourselves. We just have to keep going and keep reading to learn more, keep working, keep doing more. And we take our kids from here to there to like millions of different classes. And then we get home and just rush through dinner and just rush through bed and we're always rushing. And perhaps we check in with everybody else, our friends, our husband, our kids, our moms and dads and, and pets and everything, but we don't check in with ourselves. And then we wonder, why we feel so disconnected, we feel so unfulfilled, we feel so, not well physically as well, right? Because we don't even know who we are, because we don't want to spend any time with ourselves. And unless we start spending time with ourselves, we can't heal ourselves. And we can't start then feeling better about ourselves physically and emotionally, so we can start creating whatever we want to create. It's very interesting that, there is so many people out there, trying to create, financial freedom, a business and more money, and more, but they're stuck in this bubble of hurt or feeling that they're broken on the inside, but they're trying to push through it. I know this. I have been there. They're trying to push it. They're trying to fight with life. They're trying to, to push themselves into something that physically and emotionally they actually cannot do, because they don't want to acknowledge that inside they're broken, they're hurt, and all they want to have and to do sometimes is that somebody else would, maybe give them a hug and hold them and say it's okay. But what's important is that we are the only ones that know ourselves, right? Once we sit and with ourselves and start, being curious about, how things affect us and our emotions and feelings, we can get to know who we really are. Without that, nobody is going to tell you how you feel and what your emotions or anything like that, because you are the only one that knows. But we need to be prepared to go there. I was somebody who was too scared to be in my own company before cancer. That was me all over it. I was always working, I was doing, I am a doer, I am a type A personality, I'm just like always on the go. And I would never, ever check in with myself. And I kept pushing through until I got sick, like real sick. Because I never wanted to acknowledge that I had an issue. I just thought like, what? Talk about emotions and feelings and sit with myself? This is a waste of time. I haven't got time for this. Right? So when we start going down this vicious cycle of saying we don't have time for ourselves, this is a really bad cycle, because you are literally saying to yourself that you don't matter and you are not important. Right? We all have busy lives. We all have stuff to do. But when you look at people that we see them as like, oh, they're so successful, they have it all together, they do. Don't you guys think that these people are working out every day, they're eating a good diet, that they are sitting perhaps in meditation, that they are looking after themselves? I can most definitely tell you that they are. Because there is no way people can be, working and grinding, until without giving any fuel, the right fuel to your body, mind, and soul. At some point, you will crash. if you don't keep nourishing yourself. And this is why burnout is like an epidemic. This is why cancer is an epidemic. This is why chronic disease is an epidemic, right? Because people, they are thinking that, if I keep pushing through, I'll be happy when, I'll be okay when, I'll have the financial freedom, and then I'll look after myself. We all need to look after ourselves on the way, on the journey, every single day. And the only way to do that is just to show up to ourselves each day and acknowledge whatever it happened to me yesterday, or at work, or in my personal life, or when I was a kid, or whatever. It wasn't okay. It wasn't something that I can sit with yet, and I want to work through this. And I believe that I need to acknowledge that it has affected me. This is why I am the person who I am today. I'm defensive. I have built some barriers around it. You have to start really getting it out. And you can only do that if you have time to hold this space for yourself to do that. All the time that you're rushing around, going from one place to another and doing everything, you can't do that. And the thing is, no one is going to do that for you either. So you're the only one that can do that. And I think the last thing is, once you start letting go and you stop trying to control, controlling takes an enormous amount of energy, and controlling is an illusion, right? We think we can control everything because we've got a mobile phone, and controlling. You can give your kid a watch these days, can't you? And just maybe check where they are, GPS. You can maybe do that with your partner. I don't know. There's so many things that we can control, right, these days, which is insane. And then all these external things that we think that we can control, or that we think that will make us happy, if I have this, then I'll be happy, and if I know where my kid is, if 24/7, I'll be happy. And then if I know where my husband is 24/7, I'll be happy. All of those controlling things that, this illusion of things that we believe that we have. And once we realize that, it gets us to a point, right? I feel really good about this, I know exactly where my kid is, or where my husband is, what everybody's doing, everything at work. And then something happens, which it normally happens every single day, right? And it's out of control, and it unbalances us completely. And we realize we're completely out of control. And then it comes up, the anger, the resentment, the sadness, the anxious, the anxiety, the whatever feeling. And then, little by little, it's like paper cuts. They keep stressing us out. They keep making us more anxious. They keep us making us more, depressed, sad, or whatever it is, angry, or whatever, frustrated. And before we know, we have endless paper cuts everywhere. Because we're trying to control somebody else, which we can't. Because you wouldn't like if anybody wanted to control you, would you? That's the reality of it. But we still think we can control somebody else, right? We want to control, our work, our colleagues at work, what happens at work, our clients, whatever it happens at work. We want to control our kids, control our husbands, our pets. It's endless. So all the time that we focus on that, we're just, the energy is going away out of our bodies. We live in this illusion that we are controlling. We're getting to a stage where we think, yeah, I'm almost happy. But then really, that kind of control illusion get us happy. But then very quickly we'll go back to the hurt and the wound inside us, because that is what is real. And that's what we inhabit every single day. The minute we wake up, the minute we get out of bed, that is what the reality is. And unless you solve this issue, which is what's inside you, how can you become free? How can you have more energy? How can you build your business? How can you build your financial freedom? How can you heal your physical body, your discomfort in your body? So, guys, I really hope this is helpful. Thank you so much, Angela, for watching. I can see somebody else is watching as well. just I think focusing on those three things, don't wait until, somebody else or life presents you with something that you need to deal with, like myself, like a cancer, to deal with whatever you need to deal with. Start healing your inner self now, so you can really start creating what you want and creating, a body that you want, a mind, a life, relationships, connections, whatever you desire, from a place of feeling free, from a place that you feel healed. I think until you start really acknowledging that we all go through things and we all need to work through the things that we felt that were not okay to ourselves, we're just going to live in this world where people are full of fear. They're running from one thing to another, trying to seek external approval, external reward, everything's external, while inside we're broken. I am super passionate about this, and I hope this is really helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.